think one of the things that I personally selfishly love about this show and this platform is talking to people like that have built something, right? And you obviously have built the UFC. One thing that I was blown away by is when you first bought UFC, you were just given the name UFC, right? Like,
Well,
what was that process?
And the little shitty
Yeah, like what came with
well,
that? Like, it wasn't the empire that it is now.
Well, when you look at the UFC at the time, it was going bankrupt. So the owner at the time had stripped the thing down. He had sold off the video rights, the video games, the merchandise, all the things that surround the brand were all sold off. So all we bought were the 3 letters, and which weren't even really protected legally, and an old wooden octagon. So when you really think about, when people look at the UFC now and like, oh, you bought it for $2 million and now it's worth this, they have no idea what it really takes to build something like that. Like his story, what he was just saying, it's ironic that you're here today and we're talking about this. I literally just saw this thing on Instagram where it said, and I don't know, you can't believe everything you fucking see on Instagram, but this is what I saw and this is my knowledge of music business. So they basically said, guy like this pops up, they think he has talent. A record company does a deal with him, they invest $250,000 in him getting in the studio making an album. Does well, he goes on tour, da-da-da-da-da. And by the end of it, it said, there was $5 million in revenue, right? Then they take something like 80% of that money, then they charge him for the tour, the this, the that, all this other shit, and now it's negative. He's negative $500,000, and that floats over to the next album, that negativity, and it just goes on and on and on. So
Instagram was right. That's how it be going.
So nobody fucking believed in this thing at all. Nobody thought that this thing was gonna be big. Nobody thought it was gonna work, except for 3 guys. Me, Frank, and Lorenzo Fertitta.
Why'd you guys believe?
There were a lot of different reasons why we believed this would work. I thought it was more exciting than boxing once I got into it. There were better stories. There's so many different people from so many different walks of life. Boxing had the same story. I came from the mean streets of such and such. If it wasn't for boxing, I'd be dead or in jail. That was like every guy's story in boxing. We thought there was better stories to tell and that the sport was more exciting.
I love UFC. But
are you a fan?
I am. Oh. I am. I get the fights. But it took me a while to get into it because
totally get it.
At first it does just come off like barbaric as fuck. You're just like, yo.
You can't passively watch it.
Yeah.
You gotta really watch it.
Yeah, it's like I'm really watching people.
You can't eat pizza and wings and then just see that
out
shit.
of them. Like, I don't know if I should be watching this. You know what I mean? There's like that little like, what does this make me? Are we going back to like the Colosseum in Rome? Are we pulling out lions next? You know what I mean? Like, where are we going as a society, I think that's a natural, logical question that you have when you see that type of brutality displayed. But the more I watched it, the more I got into the skill set of it and the training of it. And like, this isn't just, wild people just getting in the ring and doing whatever. It's people that really train for this. And there's a science behind it just as much as there's a science behind boxing about how to move someone around the octagon, how to get them in certain positions you want them in. And just as a fan of sports, once I understand the sport of something, I'm usually like all the way the fuck into it.
So you know what needs to happen to you? You gotta come to a live event.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Oh my God. I gotta see it.
You gotta come to a live event. It will fucking blow your mind.
Yeah, I gotta
It'll be the greatest live sporting event you've ever been to.
I like seeing people.
We met, we both did the Brady roast.
Yeah.
And I gotta get you to an event.
You gotta get me to one. Now I'm
telling
only
you.
going, I can only go if you bring me though. I want some blood to hit
this
my
shit
forehead.
after you go to a live one.
Sam just went from it's too barbaric to I want some blood. That was quick.
Yeah. Once I'm in, I'm in.
UFC is definitely one of the sports that you gotta prepare for. Like, you gotta know that you about to watch a UFC fight and tune into it. You can't just be at Dave & Buster's and you kicking shit too, you feel me, on a date and then you see somebody's head get split the fuck open. It'll catch you off guard a little bit. So like, even like baseball, basketball, shit like that, like you can like kind of watch a little
Casually
bit.
watch.
Some crazy, you feel me, shit happens and then you go back to UFC, it's like the second it's on, you're like,
Captivating.
Yeah.
For real.